Yeah. What is up, my people? Run It Back Nation. This is Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros, even though that is an intro, but we're going to, it's not an intro, bro. No intros for the rest of this, the existence of this YouTube channel. The Philadelphia 76ers, 2 nights after getting absolutely mollywopped by the Boston Celtics, get a huge win over the Milwaukee Bucks, 123-120. Huge game for the Sixers without their newly acquired superstar, James Harden. Still down the 2 players that we traded, in case everybody forgot. I know 2 nights ago the trade was terrible. We gave up way too much. We gave up Seth. We gave up Drummond. Now we're awful. And 2 days later, we win a game against the Milwaukee Bucks, still without James Harden, and down those 2 players that we traded. So it just shows you, let's not overreact to one game. Yeah, it was the worst loss in the history of the franchise. Yeah, it was the worst loss in the history of Doc Rivers' career. But it's just one basketball game, and, it's a 48-point loss. They shot 80% from the three-point line. We just got to forget about it, and tonight is a perfect example of why you should just forget about it, because there's another game 2 days later, and we beat the Bucks 123-120. Couple things that stood out to me. First of all, I am in love with James Harden coaching Tyrese Maxey. That's my favorite part about this game. The second quarter, Tyrese Maxey goes to the hole hard. James Harden tells him to do it again. He does it again. James Harden stands up and says, thank you. And then he does it again. And then he hits a 3. He scored like 12 points in a row in the second quarter. I think he had 14 in the second quarter. And it's like all of the things Doc Rivers has been saying to Tyrese Maxey, we believe has been holding him back from his potential. And James Harden comes in and says, nah, just go get buckets. Of course, Joel Embiid dominated the game the whole time. TNT's narrative was, let's talk about Giannis the whole game. At halftime, Giannis had 16, Embiid had 29, I think. And TNT was talking about Giannis, you know what I mean? So that
They're talking about narrative. Paul Millsap, too.
They hate the process. Embiid dominated the whole game. His jumper was on fire tonight. He did the James Harden step back corner 3 with like 1 second left on the shot clock. The guy's absolutely ridiculous. George Niang came up huge. And there was a few final possessions from Embiid, from Maxey, that were massive. And we knocked off the Bucks. I think the winning play for me, honestly, was I feel like there was about a minute and a half left, and Giannis got the ball on the block, and Embiid was just so ready to guard him. He was ready, more ready than I've ever seen him to guard anybody. He was like, let's do this. And he just brick-walled the hell out of him, and Giannis couldn't move him off the block. It was beautiful, man. What do you guys think? What's up, Romp? What's up, Greg?
What's up?
Romp, you haven't been here in a while. I saw a couple chats in there. Pumped that hashtag Team Romp is back. I'll hand you the microphone. I'll hand you your microphone.
You want me to talk? You want me to start out?
Start off with who we all expect you to first say. That's what I want to hear.
Well, my 2 players of the game. Number 1, George Niang. I thought George Niang had a hell of a game. I thought he was guarding Giannis very well for being like, fat and slow. And then number 2, Furkan Korkmaz, of course. You all knew I was going to say that. But I don't know. George Niang is just so tough and gritty, and he's a smart defender. I wish Thybulle could be a smart defender. Look at him right now. He's not going for the steal. He's just keeping him in front and forcing him into a tough jumper. Good shot, Giannis. But you know what I'm saying? That type of energy was needed in this game. And it allowed Embiid not to have to guard Giannis and not to have to help every possession. He needed every ounce of energy to put up 42 points and 14 rebounds, whatever it was. So I thought Niang, 4 threes, like, come on now. And his defense was elite. So those are my 2 takeaways. Furkan was a hell of a guy. He looked beautiful out there too. 7 rebounds. Better rebounder than Tobias Harris, as I was saying. But I'll let you guys take over now.
Are you done?
I could go on all day about.
I start talking basketball.
I just want to chip in. The Celtics game, I almost threw up when I saw the starting lineup of that included Danny Green and Matisse Thybulle. So the fact that Doc decided to go with George Niang in this one probably had something to do with the victory.
So, man, dude, I don't even have enough time to just talk praise on this team. 1 through 11 tonight. Everybody came in and did their job, including Doc Rivers, man. He treated this like a playoff game, and we won this game like a playoff game. This is a playoff environment. This is a huge test for the Sixers, and for us to come in without James Harden, without obviously Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, because they're not here anymore. That is arguably the biggest win of the season. Starting out, I mean, Tyrese Maxey, man, like you said, DJ, I tweeted, and I was like, we need aggressive Tyrese. And literally, as soon as I tweeted that, Harden got in his face, told him to be better, and he came out, and it looked like he was like 14 straight points. Step back three, couple nice floaters. He dominated the game. We got incredible minutes from Furkan tonight. He had a couple big-time shots, quick trigger, which is what is going to be needed with Harden in the lineup. We're going to need some dudes that can put up quick shots. Man, Paul Millsap came in and gave us good rebounds, gave us good minutes. I know his plus-minus wasn't great, but the dude played good basketball. He really did. Niang's defense romp was freaking stupid good. He was physical with Giannis. He is a dog. He's talking his rah-rah. He got into Giannis. Giannis only had 16 points in the first half. He didn't really play great until the fourth quarter. Hit a couple threes, but you know what? I'm giving him those shots. Really impressive game. Obviously, this is the Joel Embiid TNT MVP showcase. It's the 9th time this year that he's had at least 40 points. The dude is the best player in the world, and we're giving him James Harden. Tyrese Maxey, when he's getting to the line, he's going to be unstoppable in his career because he never gets calls. So when he does, he's going to be a bucket. Tobias Harris had a couple big shots. Niang hit some huge threes. Bro, 1 through 11, discarding Matisse Thybulle. The Sixers played the best possible game they probably could have played this year. It's a huge comeback, man. And the Pistons beat the Celtics, so by that transitive property, the Detroit Pistons are currently the best team in the Eastern Conference.
That's true.
Speaking of Matisse Thybulle, man, it's getting harder and harder to watch this guy play significant minutes when he just absolutely can't give you anything offensively. 15 minutes, 0 for 1. He was a minus 14. 1 block, 0 steals. I mean, he's just a guy you bring off the bench for a couple of minutes that can give you a spark. He's just not a full-time NBA player. That's how I feel about it. I would have rather traded him than Seth Curry. A lot of people thought, Matisse Thybulle was untouchable because he just has all worldly potential, but I'm just not seeing the potential.
He's just so tentative, and it really hurts us on the offensive side because he's as close as you can get to Ben Simmons without being Ben Simmons in the half court. And it's frustrating, man. It's like I hate hesitance, and that's why I dislike Furkan Korkmaz for one. But as soon as Furk hit that pump fake and then he step side three for the first 3 of the game, he got his confidence back, and that's what made him start to be aggressive. And when Furkan's that one play that he had off of Embiid pick, he drove the lane, had a tough layup, and he hit it. That's what we need, man. And Matisse, like all we need is just cutting action, or just like no hesitant, just shoot the ball. But he looked really uncomfortable on the court today, and it was really unfortunate. But Furkan and Niang killed it tonight, man. Niang shooting the ball 10 times from down the arc is music to my goddamn ears.
Yes, please.
Hoist,
somebody shoot the ball 10 times.
Also, real quick, can we talk about Embiid's step back 3? That was just ungodly.
Harden, that was a
Harden step back. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Embiid is disgusting. He's so disgusting. He's unfair at the game of basketball, how good he is. It's ridiculous.
Tough shot. And it's funny that they were practicing it the other night, the other day at practice, and then Embiid got called for it the other night when he tried it in the game, and it looked funny because we were like, what the hell is he actually doing? So he comes back tonight, he's like, you know what? Let me show everybody that I can do this, and he pulled it out. He executed it perfectly. Just a perfect step back right behind the line. Fadeaway 3 from a 7'2" center. It's ridiculous. It's not even fair. There's a play in the first half where he comes down the floor and just catches it. When it was the end of the second quarter when we were going 2 for 1, or maybe the end of the first quarter. Who gets a 2 for 1 with their center launching a 3 from the top of the key? Oh, the guy's incredible, man. He's incredible.
Unreal, dude.
Yeah, I feel like this was one of his best games of all time. Just the way he was, because he was getting like double teamed and triple teamed all night, and he was making great passes. He should have had a triple double, if we're being honest. He had 5 assists, but he at least put them in position at least like 20 times to just get an open 3. And the Sixers were missing early on, but then they started to hit in the second half. But like, I don't know, this game from Embiid gives me massive hope for the playoffs that like he can handle anything now. You know, he had 6 turnovers tonight, but it felt like he only had like 2. Like, I don't know. This game was, and then when he hit that step back, I was like, I just got vibes of like, you know, LeBron taking over, Kawhi taking over. Like, it's just, you can't stop it. I just got vibes from it.
He's on that level. He really is. He really is on that level. You can see
who else is on that level? You know who else is on that level?
Let's do it.
James Harden, baby. James Harden.
I thought you were going to say Furkan, to be honest.
Now we're talking NBA players. We're talking NBA players now.
So speaking of Furkan and Niang, you know, when we talk about this team having a lot of one-dimensional players, it's we're either make or miss. If when they're making threes, we win the game. When they're missing threes, we lose the game. Or Joel Embiid has to drop a 75-point quadruple double to help us win. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, you're not going to get a lot out of those guys when they're not on. So, but when you get a game like this where they're on, it's great.
Yeah, but the thing about Thybulle is he's never on. When he goes on the court, the team disrespects him and doesn't even guard him. They put Giannis on Thybulle in the first half, and Giannis is a generational defender, so he was just roaming around, just occupying space. And he looked at Thybulle and was like, this dude, he's not going to do anything. Like, even if he hits a 3, it doesn't matter. They don't care because they look at that form and they look at the percentages and they're like, and they look at his body. He has no confidence. It's like you can't put that out on the court unless he's actually doing stuff defensively. But tonight it wasn't the case, and Doc finally, you know, had some big boy balls and took him out.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Doc did a great job tonight, man. He put Tyrese with 10 minutes and 37 seconds left back in the fourth with Tobias. Thought that was a great move. He staggered minutes. Dude, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the pick and rolls are going up. He's running more pick and rolls with Tyrese and Embiid, and man, he's just getting ready for what Harden's going to bring, and it's huge. It's huge. Also, a couple questionable calls that kept Milwaukee in it tonight, but Milwaukee missed a couple open shots, so it turned out.
Yeah, do you think maybe James Harden's in practice like, yo, I think we should be doing maybe this, and this, and they're kind of listening. Like, what are the odds we trade for James Harden and we see like double the amount of pick and rolls in the half court offense?
I do think Doc is a little bit more aware of what he needs to do. Like I will give Doc credit to the point where like I think he knows that there's going to be a schematic change. And he's just practicing for when Harden comes back. Because, dude, Harden is not going to listen to a coach when he's playing basketball. He's going to be doing his own thing, and he's just getting the Sixers ready for that moment.
That's what I love about him coaching Maxey from the sideline, because Doc Rivers, if anybody forgets, Doc Rivers, beginning of the season, and he quoted himself in a press conference, and he said, I told Maxey, you know, any shot that you take, it's what I used to say to Rondo. That's a shot that Ray Allen could have. That's a shot that Garnett could have. That's a shot that so-and-so Paul Pierce could have. And he made him second-guess himself. Why in the world would you say that to a 21-year-old who's trying to learn how to play point guard? Today, James Harden's telling him, don't listen to Doc Rivers. Do your thing. Go get buckets. And he stood up and said, thank you. I just loved it. I loved it so much. Fire Doc Rivers. James Harden's our coach, as far as I'm concerned. That's what we need. We need positive, motivation. We need just. I thought Doc, I wouldn't say did an excellent job unless the bar is that low, because he said it that low. But I think he did an excellent job of canceling himself from trying to lose the game, because the end of the third quarter into the fourth, he did the same thing he always does. First of all, why is it Tobias plus the bench? Why is that the lineup he always goes with? And meanwhile, Budenholzer had Drew Holiday in the game with his bench, so he has a ball handler out there. Then he takes Drew out, brings Giannis and Middleton back in. I mean, that's what staggering is. Doc does kind of the same thing, but with Tobias Harris. Why? Why wouldn't you stagger the lineup with your point guard?
I think in Doc's defense, what he did a good job with tonight was not get brutally outcoached by a really good coach. And so he wasn't the best. Like, he's not a great coach, but he did just enough, like you said, to not be the reason we lose. He tried. He damn sure tried. But I think he had a moment of realization of like, oh, this is a pretty important game. We should take this more serious.
That's what I mean. I think he saw it. He saw it. He saw his lineup going downhill. Start of the fourth quarter, and he brought Maxey in with 10 and a half minutes left. I mean, Tyrese Maxey played 40 minutes in this game. Wow, a 21-year-old point guard can play 40 minutes in an NBA game. When we played the Suns, Chris Paul played 41, and Tyrese had 34 or something. And I was screaming like, "Why won't you leave this kid in the game a little bit longer, especially when you don't have any other point guards?" So he did that at least. Brought him back early.
Embiid 37 minutes too.
Dude,
I'm proud of Doc Rivers.
Me too. When Embiid landed on his butt after that N1, I was like, I saw the worst result happening from that.
No, I think he falls on purpose because he's less likely to.
It looked like he landed right on the tailbone. I was like, oh god, 300 pounds in the ground like that.
Tobias Harris gave us a sneaky 19 points. One of those Tobias Harris games where you're like, when did he score those? You know, like it's just, I feel like he's that kind of player. I don't hardly remember him scoring.
Bro, his rebounding pisses me off. He could have had like 14 rebounds tonight.
He was 9 for 20.
He was
9 for 20, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 4 assists is astronomical for one trick pony blinders on Tobias Harris. So I got to give him credit for pumping out 4 assists. I thought towards the end of the game when it got down to crunch time, there was a couple of Tobias Harris pick and rolls where I was like, no, please don't let this be the play that we go to when we need a bucket. But
out of a timeout, we ran a Tobias Harris pick and roll. And I screamed, why are we going to Tobias? 14 to 21 from it. Oh my, Embiid is just a god.
Dude, he was 78% true shooting tonight.
Unreal. It's just unbelievable. Unreal. He's so ready for the biggest stage. He gets so excited for it. He's like, hell yeah, I'm playing Giannis. We're playing on TNT. Let's go. 42, 14, and 5 assists.
I tweeted it out. I was like, Joel Embiid will never have 2 bad games in a row. He refuses, dude. He's way too much of a competitor. And he had 19 points last game, couple turnovers, didn't look good, didn't really play because we got dismantled by 116. But then he came out tonight and obviously dropped 42, 14, and 5. This was the easiest game to bet. Just points for Embiid. If there was ever a game on DraftKings to bet 35 plus, it's tonight for Embiid. He's going up against Giannis. And he talked about in his post-game interview. He's like, that's the MVP. That's the finals MVP of the league right there. Like, you best believe, basically, I'm going to come in and give it 100%. And it's the last game before the break. Dude, Embiid's just his productivity and his efficiency at his height with the challenging shots that he took tonight is no one does that. Nobody does that in the NBA.
No, and when his mid-range jumper's falling, you're absolutely screwed. Like, you might catch him on a night. You might get lucky one night and catch him on a night where that jumper's not falling or something like that. But tonight, it was just over. It didn't matter what you did. Double shimmy fadeaways over double teams. It didn't matter. It was going in. The guy was unbelievable. When it got close and he did that little, like, you know what, screw it, give me the ball. I'm bringing the ball up myself. Gets to his spot. Backs down Bobby Portis and hits a one-footed Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway. Oh my goodness! What can you do?
Nothing.
What can you do with the guy, man? What can you do? And another thing is not only him locking up Giannis at the end, one-on-one defense, but Tyrese Maxey locking up Drew Holiday on one of the final possessions. And I've been saying it all year. I think Tyrese Maxey's defense is underrated for his size. I think he's really smart. He's undersized, obviously, but he's really smart with where he puts his body, how he times things. I think he's a really good defender for his size.
Yeah, but he's not flashy. He's not flashy, so he won't get the credit and Sixers Twitter.
Kai Carlin tweeted and said, George Niang said he drove into the paint and lost the ball early in the game. After that, James Harden yelled at him and said, put up 10 threes. That's what you do. Niang ended up taking 10 triples and did 5 of them. So basically what we're saying tonight,
Harden is the coach.
James Harden won it.
Basically what we're saying tonight is James Harden won the game.
Coach of the year, man.
James Harden's coach because doing that. More so, imagine Doc Rivers saying that to somebody. like we say it a lot. We went from Brett Brown to Doc Rivers. They're almost the same person to me. I don't feel like they do anything. And you get a player like James Harden who's out here shoot 10 threes, and he's yelling at Maxey, go to the hole. Nobody can stop you. Go to the hole. And he does it. Like, I don't feel like it's rocket science. I just think you get these old stubborn coaches that think their game plan is what needs to be done the whole game. And, you get a player like James Harden who's an egomaniac, like we said, and he's not going to care what Doc Rivers thinks. He's going to stand up and tell the players what he thinks they should do. So, shout out to James Harden for the override. The Doc Rivers override. Thank you for that, James Harden.
Yeah.
Facts. Mr. Rudy Poo, what's up, man? Romp, talk about your boy Dork Maz trying to give the game away at the end.
What do you mean? He was trying to save the game. He saw no one going to the ball, and he went to the ball, and he got double teamed and pushed out of bounds, and the ref didn't call it because he's a dorky white dude.
He got pushed out of bounds.
Dude, all I'm saying is if Matisse Thybulle was on the court, he's running to the visitors' locker room, running away from that ball.
I agree,
that was a foul. That was a foul.
The last thing you want to do when the team's about to run a full court press is give the ball to Furkan Korkmaz. You can agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, but what else? He was going to the ball. I blame that on whoever passed it.
Romp, you play collegiate basketball. You do not run in for when you know a foul is going to come. You don't run to the legitimate out of bounds line right next to the inbounder.
He's running to get the ball.
You don't run to the dude who has the ball to get the ball. You create space. You create separation.
Let's talk about how Doc Rivers drew up a terrible play.
He said,
I agree with that. Hey, 500 in the chat. Hit the like button. Thank you all for being in here.
Hand me the basketball. Thanks. Oh, there's 3 guys on me, and
You're telling me he didn't get fouled, though? Come on now.
Dude, he had no positioning. It's not a foul.
He got fouled. We could replay it. I swear he got fouled.
Let's talk about Paul Millsap for a second. What do you guys think? Because first of all, why did Paul Millsap get 0 minutes on the Brooklyn Nets this entire season, basically?
I don't know. I tried to tell my boy Greg Melly on our live stream today, Harden got traded, that Paul Millsap is a very good player. And I thought tonight it was key because we didn't have to play B-Ball Paul, which B-Ball Paul is great, but like against the Bucks, I don't know if I could trust them. We didn't have to play Bassey either, and we went small. And I feel like Millsap he held his own out there and was just really reliable. And he's a solid defender. He's willing to shoot. His shot looks nice. He's a basketball player. We lack basketball players, as you know, so I like Millsap.
I'll say that he's a guy that's been there in that situation before, and I would just prefer the guy who's been there before instead of Bassey or Paul Reed at the age of 16 playing crunch time basketball against the defending champion team.
And you know what it is about a guy like Paul Millsap? He's always had a fluid jump shot, and guys that have a fluid jump shot, they age well because as their athleticism declines, they can still get that shot off, and they can still, potentially score points when you need it. So, Daryl Morey hinted today about the buyout market, and he hinted at something like somebody's already there. We just can't announce it yet. What did he say? Did you listen to it?
Yeah. So what he basically said was, it's basically a done deal. He's like, I'm upset that we haven't finalized it to this point, but something is imminent. That's the word that he used. He said an imminent. So then Michael Levin said, okay, so this might answer this question. Like, if you would say what do you need, would it be a backup 5? Would it be a 3-and-D perimeter player? Or would it be a backup point guard? And he was like, we probably need a backup center. So basically what he's saying is there's going to be a backup center that comes to the Sixers.
And who do you think that is? Because Tristan Thompson signed with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Please don't let it be Robin Lopez. Please.
No. Do you want my honest opinion?
Isn't it Drew
do you want my honest opinion? I bet you it's going to be Enes Kanter. If I have to take a shot in the dark,
Freedom.
I would say Enes Kanter.
Freedom. Come on, man.
Oh, you're right.
Respect
I'm so
that,
sorry to all the countries, to every country out there that was offended. Enes.
I'll take Freedom. We need more memes. Imagine Freedom and Furkan off the bat. Oh man,
I despise Enes Freedom, whatever the dude's name is. I can't stand that dude.
He's one of those guys that's just like really bad at basketball, but he's just such a hustler that he
He's
gets
so
like,
hateable.
so he'll have like 2-3 years ago, he would have games with the Celtics where he had like 27 rebounds.
Yeah,
And
he
I'm like,
rebounds the
what
ball.
the hell? How is this guy have 27 rebounds? But he's just a maniac like that around the rim. You know what I mean? That's why he's probably.
I think he might just be a maniac in general, DJ.
Definitely a maniac in general. I mean, he stood up against an entire country.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, dude. It's a lot of people.
He stood up against his own government, man.
He also he's also like not friends with Embiid from at least their time playing against each other. So I just think Morey wants to bring in all of Embiid's arch nemesis. First Drummond. First Drummond,
yeah.
I would rather a wing who could than a center.
Rob, can you say that? Can you say that again? Your mic cut out a little bit.
I would rather a wing who can shoot than a center.
100%.
Right, but who's available?
I don't know, Gary Harris.
Is he? He's not available yet, though. I'm here with that 100%, but he's technically still a part of that team.
Yeah, I'm
Why
with that
though? What are they
too.
doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. They're 14-35. They're not doing anything. But are they going to buy out Gary Harris?
Derek Favors, Rudy Poo said, "I'll take Derek Favors."
Derek Favors might be.
I like Derek Favors.
I forgot about Derek Favors.
It said freedom was waived, can't be buyout. That's actually exactly what happens after players are waived.
Yeah, they either
sign, but I mean
they get waived, and there's a period where teams can claim them off the waivers. Then they clear waivers, and then they can sign with another team.
What do you guys think about Tyreek Evans, bro?
Why not?
The dude hasn't played basketball in like 3 years.
He's still in the NBA?
He's a Chester kid. He actually just got reinstated. He was permanently suspended, but now he's back.
Plotnik, what's up, man? Shane and Harden coach better than Glenn Rivers. I agree, man. And shout out to Shane, our 14-year-old subscriber that knows more about basketball than Doc Rivers. Shout out to Shane always. Yeah, man. A good win. Like it's encouraging because you wanted to see stuff like this against the Boston Celtics because literally this game doesn't matter and last game doesn't matter. Nothing before James Harden enters the court actually matters. That's the thing about this. We traded for James Harden. We're playing without him, so it doesn't matter. It seriously doesn't. Whatever happens, I don't care. What happened in the Boston game, I don't care because James Harden's not there. What happened in this game, I don't care. If we lost this game, I'm like, I don't care. We're getting James Harden next Friday. I don't care. You know, that's what we all want to see, what the team looks like with the guy that we traded for. But it's encouraging to see, you know, a game like this from certain players because it makes you think, what are they going to look like with James Harden on the floor?
Bro, that pull-up three from Embiid was ridiculous.
It was.
That was ridiculous.
He's out of this world, man. He just
that pass.
You know how many hockey assists Embiid has a night? Crazy.
It's got to be a lead in the league, right?
The only person close to him is Ben Simmons and all his three-pointers created.
And Furkan had some big shots in the game, and of course, you know that's the good Furkan. There's good Furkan, there's bad Furkan. He had some big shots in the game, but he had some plays, you know, putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim, especially down there in the fourth quarter. He had the one play where he drove and finished at the rim. So, you know, I say a lot. We don't have players that can put the ball on the floor when you need one. Like Furkan's like the only one you can pull off the bench that can kind of do it. So, you know,
it's scary.
It's scary.
It is scary,
and it doesn't look good. He
looks like he's about to get blocked every time.
Yeah, I don't know he looks like. He wears a size 27 shoe, and he has concrete in his shoes when he runs. But you know, Furkan came up, man. I still wish, like right here, man. He beat him right there, but I'm ready for that part of the offense to be out of here. The Tobias Harris dribble 23 seconds off the shot clock.
We hope.
I'm ready for him to be off the team.
Yeah, that's the inevitable dream.
Well, we got at least the rest of this season with Tobias Harris. So, right? I'm right? Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen.
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was up to us, I would just buy him out because I mean,
Stop.
Paul Millsap's better, and George Niang's also better.
I think it's probably the fact that that's a massive buyout.
Just stop it. Just enough, please.
Well,
You know what Daryl
to it
Morey.
anyway.
You know what Daryl Morey can do in a trade market. You don't cut dudes.
Yeah, but just for my sake of the viewing experience.
Oh yeah, we would be playing 3 dudes if it was for that sake.
Yeah, Furkan would be starting.
We would be playing all the players that Romp likes. There would be 3 against 5.
Yeah, we're down by
Maxey,
84.
and Furkan. It would be Embiid,
down
Maxey,
by
and
84,
Furkan.
but Romp's smiling. Thank God Romp's happy.
Can I be honest? I don't miss Seth Curry at all.
Neither do I.
Dude, I couldn't stand the height on the court with him and Maxey. And just tonight, like, I felt like we were just such a big team out there because Maxey's like the only small guy. And I can't stand Seth Curry being that small. And it's such a disadvantage defensively that no one notices because he puts up like a lot of 3-pointers, you know?
His defense was the worst on the team in the playoffs, and it was one of the main reasons we lost that series. Dude, if Niang's putting up 10 threes a game, we don't need Seth Curry.
That's true.
It's absolutely true. I'd be willing to bet this is the first time somebody, I guess he was starting tonight, but I'd be willing to bet this is the first time a role player shot 10 threes in a game in Doc Rivers' tenure as the Sixers head coach. I really think that. I think it's because of James Harden.
How many guys do we have shoot 10 threes a game at all?
Yeah, exactly.
Even Seth, he shot like 5 threes max a night. And I'm like, all right, dude, put up more.
Even Daryl Morey called out Seth Curry for that on the Ricky podcast.
Yeah. That was a great interview, by the way.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm excited to see who the buyout candidate is, man. I'm excited.
It's going to be Drew Ebanks.
Good rebounder. Dude, I hate you, Rob.
What do you mean?
You're like my dad. You just want to disagree just to disagree.
No, I don't want Drew Ebanks. No offense to Drew Ebanks, but he does nothing for me.
Most of these dudes do nothing for me. That's why they're unemployed.
That is true.
Yeah, that is. Yep, that's a very good point right there. Very good point. Pope Platinum, Morey and Harden recruiting Bradley Beal. Do you guys think that's true?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's happening. I think
100%.
Tobias is gone, and I think he's coming.
If you listen to what Morey said that there was a deal lined up 4 days before the deadline that he thought was going to be the deal, but then something happened. And then if you look back, what happened? Bradley Beal got surgery, and he was out for the remainder of the season at that exact time frame that Morey gave, the investigation skills. And that's exactly what he wanted, and I think that's exactly what he expects to get this offseason. In a sign and trade too, bro, it's going to be so much easier to get him. Trade him Tobias, Matisse, and like a pick.
True.
I got a screen for you guys. Hold on.
Dang, I forget I was going to say something. Crap.
Most 40.10 rebound games in the NBA since 2017-18. Joel Embiid and James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden's a low-key good rebounder, and he's not that bad defensively.
High-key good rebounder. You missed our stream yesterday, Romp. He's only ever had one season less than 1 steal per game.
He's a elite post defender.
Yeah, he's strong. Harden is a strong cat, and simply because of that, and the few times he decides to hustle on defense, he's a pretty decent defender. Like, he's not bad, dude. He's really not bad.
He's not Seth Curry level.
No, my God.
And then we have Matisse Thybulle too next to him. Don't forget. So
the thing about Seth Curry is you had to gamble. You had to weigh the positives. You know, he's going to give you one of the highest 3-point percentages in history. He's going to have games where he drops 25 and shoots the lights out. You have to bank on it outweighing how bad his defense is.
But Seth's thing is it's such high risk, high reward. Like, he's not a consistent 20-point per game scorer. He can give you 8, and then the next game he can give you 21, and then go back to 9. Like, that's not good enough to be that bad on defense. And that's why I was cool with the Seth trade, because he wasn't consistent enough on offense to be like an untouchable dude, right? Like, if that's Matisse Thybulle putting up those numbers, then obviously it's an all-star level player right there. But James Harden is better defensively and then better in every other aspect of the game of basketball.
Oh, of course. But I mean, by
Really?
a lot, by a lot.
By a lot, yeah.
It's a funny thing about the trade. We essentially traded Josh Richardson and one unprotected and a protected first-round pick for James Harden.
That's too much, man.
We gave up too much.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. It's too much. Nets won the trade, man.
Yeah, I appreciate all the comments about my shirt, guys. Thank you. I didn't wear a shirt specifically for you guys.
Greg was wearing a shirt last stream, I think.
Someone said, I think he thinks he's muscular. Dude, he is muscular. I'll tell you. Sometimes you post Snapchat stories and he's flexing. Jonathan's just jealous of you, bro.
Damn, Jonathan. I can get you on my workout regimen, bro. Don't worry.
Can you get me, bro? Can you get Furcon?
Imagine
Furcon. Imagine Furcon with weight.
You know how the YouTube chat goes. All right. Anybody want to call into the show? Give us your thoughts on this game. Give us your thought on what the team looks like. Give us your thought on what you think the team's going to look like with James Harden.
Yo, this dude said Romp thinks Furcon is Luka.
I mean, he's pretty close, right?
Almost the same country.
Almost the
Turkish
same country,
Luka.
yes.
Dude, I thought he was going to win the jump ball versus Giannis.
Yo, you see how excited he was? He was so excited to jump off the ground.
He didn't even jump. He ran to go get it. He gave it up and ran to go get it. I think Joel Embiid told him before.
He's like,
because
don't
he
bother.
whispered something. He was like, don't bother. You're not winning.
Don't bother, dude. It's so funny, dude. Furcon was sunned so hard in that 45-second span from Giannis.
He's such a meme on the court, man. I thought Shake Milton was nice tonight, too.
Love that dude. Mid-range jumper, man. And those bent knees mid-air when he shoots.
He's long, too.
Yep.
His defense is solid. I like
long
Shake.
Arms, man. Long arms.
That's another thing. I'm so sick of this. We got to get a backup point guard. No, we don't. We have James Harden. We have Shake Milton. We got Tyrese Maxey. That's good enough. You don't need a backup point guard. What is on the buyout market? Goran Dragic? If it's Goran Dragic, then yes. But everyone besides Goran Dragic, DJ Augustine is the most subpar player. It's just going to be George Hill 2.0.
Bro, DJ Augustine is the definition of washed.
He's the definition of just...
I mean, he's shooting 41% from three this season.
Yeah, but on like two attempts.
He shot 39.5 last season.
He's just so mediocre.
You need a ball handler,
right? But it's a guy off the bench. I mean, you're not going to get an all-star. You're not going to get a superstar. You're going to get DJ Augustine. The goal is for it to be better than Furkan Korkmaz or Shake Milton. That's the goal.
Yeah, but if you have Harden and Maxey, you should just stagger the minutes correctly at Doc Rivers and get Gary Harris. We need Gary Harris.
Yeah, but the guy is on an NBA team right now, Rob.
Well, Morey should do something about it and like call the Magic up and like offer them under the table money. Do whatever it takes.
Yeah, tell Penny Hardaway to say something. Yo, wait,
caller from South Bend, Indiana. What's going on?
What's happening, bro? Yeah, Indiana, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Here's my observation of the situation.
Let's go.
When we get our main man next week, we need to solidify this just like when we got Moses Malone. Now, I know you guys probably weren't born then, but here's the deal. We got to come in and make teams fear playing the Sixers. We got to come in and establish the fact that if you play the Sixers, you're about to get ran. Smoke is not going to be close. In the East, we have to shut these people down. That's the way I feel about it. What do you think?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think we gotta come with all the intensity, man. We gotta come with that confidence as a team to know that, listen, we're better than everybody.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, the way I feel about this game, we the guys that was one guy in the back. I got the younger brother, but the thing is simply this. We feel like this game tonight, Doc almost blew this game because when you saw them come with their starters from Milwaukee, he should have came with our starters back for the Sixers. Then you give them a blow and then you bring them back. What do you think?
Yeah,
totally agree.
I think first of all he should stagger Tyrese Maxey with some bench players before Tobias Harris with some bench players. Tobias is a guy that needs people to set him up. It just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, he doesn't really adapt to what the other coach is doing. When there's a lot of times throughout this whole season and last season where you see 3 of their starters on the floor and we have 5 bench players. So but I think he realized it this game and said, "Oh shit, I got to put some guys in there," and that's why he brought Maxey back with 11 minutes left.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. But I'm gonna tell you, the worst player that misses 2-5 worse than anybody is Tobias. Tobias, he used to get Tobias in open lanes. He's a slasher, and he pounds, like you said, he does pound the ball too much. But he's $180 million. We're never gonna get beyond that contract. That's one of the most horrible contracts they ever put out. But the simple thing is this, man. No way you can be no 4th option. You're getting paid $180 million, but he is the 4th best player when Harden comes back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay though. Like at this point, guys, we don't expect him to be a $180 million player. We don't need him to be a $180 million player anymore. We need him to be an $80 million 4th option who can just get a couple buckets and literally live off of the open looks that Harden will feed him for 48 minutes a night. Like that's what James Harden is. It gives us relief to not have to rely on Tobias Harris as much anymore.
Right, but you
well said, bro.
I agree, but you get rid of that. You get rid of that contract, and thanks for the call, man. You get rid of that contract, and then you go get a way less than $80 million 4th option. You know what I mean? I don't think any team should realistically have an $180 million 4th option.
100%. But that's the bed that we made, and we're sleeping in it. So
this season.
Well, yeah. Next season,
Daryl's gonna throw an unprotected 1st-round pick for somebody to take that. I guarantee it.
Good. We don't need him.
We don't need picks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. People are talking about, I think you gave up too much. I mean, it's people that want to say, well, you gave up the future. You gave up. I'm like, bro, next year, yeah, we gave up an unprotected 1st-round pick, but it's going to be at the bottom of the 1st round. I mean, it is what it is. Well, we drafted Korkmaz at 26 one year. Like we drafted TLC in the 1st round of an NBA draft.
Stud.
Is it like you can find players there, but it's not that serious when you're trying to win a championship. So, and then 2027 top 8 protected. Like, who cares, man?
Eastwood.
So,
do you know how many open looks James Harden's going to generate? Like
tons. This team is going to look so much different.
If you put Isaiah Joe on the court with Joel Embiid and James Harden for 15 minutes a night, you're guaranteed probably 3 open threes from him. And then if he's hitting, we have another rotational piece. Because he's going to get – because think about like Isaiah Joe's threes when he has come into games. It's always like heavily contested or just like kind of a throwaway shot. The shot clock's running down. But when you get James Harden, same with Furkan. They're going to get butt-naked open threes. Butt-naked open threes where you could pull your pants down, pull it back up, and then you could shoot it again. That's what James Harden's going to provide. And those threes are more likely to go in, just like this 3 right here. Look, he's open. That's why he hit it. A lot of his threes this year, there's one hand in his face or guys coming out to get him.
Call her on the line. What's going on?
Yeah, speaking of butt naked.
Pause.
Got a question for all 3 of you guys. What's
up?
Over and under.
Joel
Embiid's cock size, 8 inches.
God. All right, next caller, please. What is
probably over.
Just what is it? What is that guy? Didn't even sound like a kid. That sounded like a 35-year-old man.
Yeah, you guys think that's on
YouTube
DraftKings?
show making a dick joke? Like, why?
You guys think that's on DraftKings?
Anyway, Aaron Cabbage, what's up, man? Thanks for the support. Great win tonight. We can beat anybody with Harden. We can beat anybody in a 7-game series. I would call, but God gifted me the voice of prepubescent 15-year-old, and I'm also on my 2nd beer. Well, Aaron, I'm on my 4th, and you can call anytime you want. We got a caller from Philadelphia, PA. Hopefully not a troll. What's going on, man? Oh, hold on a second. There you go. What's up, man?
We got a caller from Philadelphia, PA.
Yo.
Hopefully not a troll. What's going on, man? Yo.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's the deal, yo?
What's up? All right, next caller, man. Like, next caller, bro. Like, listen, bro. Call the show with something to say. I mean, what? What's
call the deal, man?
Bro, listen. This is how you call a show. You have an idea of what you want to say, and you call the show and you say it. You don't answer the phone and say, "Yo, what's up, man? What's going on?"
He thought he was running the show.
You're like, yo. He's like, yo.
He thought he was hosting.
He sounded like I called him, like I called him at his house, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm not trying to rag on you, but I'm being serious. It's a YouTube show. It's a call-in show. We got to go. We got to go rapid fire. You got to call and give your points so we can respond to it. And if you're just calling to say nothing, don't call, man. He's calling back. It's the same person. Anyway. Shall we look at the standings of the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
What's going on around the NBA tonight?
Oh shit.
Romp, you're the around the NBA guy. What's going on right now?
I think Luka had like 50 or something.
Yeah, 49.
Luka had 49.
The Nets lost, which is a great thing, to Raul Neto. I think Raul Neto had a triple-double. No, I'm playing.
Bro.
He only had 12 points, but he played well.
Again. Bro, they didn't just lose. They got smoked at their home court.
The Heat won against the Hornets. The Hornets are 1-9 in their last 10, so they have completely fallen off.
Hornets falling off hard. Brooklyn loses to Washington. Was that yesterday? Was that today?
No, it's today.
So Brooklyn lost to. Oh, Brooklyn was down to the Knicks last night, and then they came back at the end. Okay, so they almost lost to a really bad team, and then they lost to Washington after beating us, or not beating us, but winning the first game after the trade with Seth Curry and talking a whole bunch of junk like they won the trade. They lose to the Washington Wizards. So let's read this so we can make fun of the Nets real quick. Bruce Brown, who won the game last night, was 3 for 10. Seth Curry, who had 26 points in his debut and was the second coming of his brother, and everybody was freaking out, had his second game in a row with 12 points, -5, 4 for 11. I don't hate Seth Curry, but, people need to be realistic. He's been on 6 different NBA teams for a reason. You know what I mean? He's a bench player. He's a guy you bring off the bench, and that's it. He's not a guy you make a cornerstone of your offense. That's been the Sixers' problem for a long time. We tried to make JJ Redick a cornerstone of an offense. We tried to make Seth Curry the cornerstone of an offense. Neither of those guys should be the cornerstone of an offense. They should be a 3-point weapon that you bring off the bench.
Andre Drummond doing Andre Drummond things and going 3 of 8, and you best believe the furthest shot he took from the rim was 4 feet.
LaMarcus Aldridge is getting more minutes than him.
Yeah, he's going to start in the playoffs, I would say. He's like
shout out to him.
6th in the league in field goal percentage.
Listen, only nine rebounds for Andre Drummond is pretty light, honestly.
Yeah, he only
call from
19.
Arlington, Virginia. What's going on? Yo. Yo. Hello. You there?
Hey.
Right when he answered, I hit the red button right when he hung up, right when he answered. All right, here you go, Philly. What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro?
What's up?
I had to give a good shout out from Philly, bro. Yo, we need to get rid of Doc Rivers.
I like
he
this.
has to go.
Big fan of this call already.
He has to fucking go. Doc Rivers has to fucking go. Like, he gotta go. Like, this is the worst. Like, yo, it's unbelievable. He doesn't play Isaiah Joe. Thybulle looks like literally 2-5. Take a fucking shot, bro. Like, I'm so glad he didn't play him. Like, if he's not in the game and he doesn't get enough steals, get him out the game. Yo, why we just said it. Like, like, he has to go. Doc's got to go. Almost cost us the game.
I agree, but would you agree that we now maybe have more enough talent to outweigh, because how good are NBA coaches really? You know what I mean?
Nah, man. No. That's
Just
why
saying,
they got
you
him out of
know.
the Clippers. No.
Is
Listen,
Steve
they got Tyronn Lue for a reason. Like, listen, and he's not that good, but
What
he's
has he
way better
done?
than Doc.
But what have they done?
Ty
Listen,
Lue's
Doc is
elite.
horrible, bro.
I'm
At this
not
point,
here to
go get
defend Doc Rivers at
D'Antoni.
all. I'm not
He
here to
needs
defend
to-
Doc Rivers at all.
He babysits. My thing is he's a pacifist. He gets the guys in the locker room. Like at the end of the day, he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to lead. But when it comes to coaching, he is a fan. This man is. I'm looking like, what are you doing?
I think you're right.
He's horrible.
I think you're right.
He's horrible, bro. His sets are horrible. Like he's hard. He's all across the board horrible. All across the board horrible.
I agree.
Like, come on, just stop. Go ahead.
I just think now we have a player, and you saw it now. You saw it with James Harden on the sideline. Doc Rivers, James Harden was telling players
But
what to do.
That's horrible. Why James Harden has to now coach? He has to get Tyrese Maxey going. Like that's a problem.
That is a problem. You're right. I still think we can
That's
win.
a big ass problem, bro.
I still think we can win
It's a
outside of
coach.
Doc Rivers' deficiencies. I do. He won a championship before, not because he's great, but because he had great players on his team.
Bro, no.
He
I
had great
hear
players
you,
on his
but
team.
Once again, they got to get rid of him. He got to
So
go.
if
He
Doc
gotta
Rivers
go.
does not
Doc
get
gotta go.
fired, if Doc Rivers doesn't get fired this mid-season, which
Yo,
is not going to
I
happen.
actually know he's gonna get fired. Like Daryl Morey is gonna get him out of here, bro. He's never even wanted him. Like that wasn't his coach. That he came on and Doc was here. Like it's gonna happen, bro. He's out of here.
But when?
He's gotta go.
When's he going to fire him? That's what I'm saying. He's not
Yo,
going to fire him
listen,
mid-season.
I mean, not now. We're gonna see how the playoffs go, and I hope they win. But listen, like I said, Doc's gotta go. And this is actually an audition for Doc. For real, like, bro, you gotta go.
So there's zero chance
no
of us
way.
winning a championship this season because of Doc Rivers, is what you're saying.
I'm not gonna say that, but once again, if we win, that's definitely Joel Embiid and James Harden all across the board. And I think they can, but it's just like once again, he's a terrible coach, bro.
We're agreeing.
terrible
That's
coach.
exactly what I've been saying to you this entire phone call. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate the call, but you just said exactly what I've been saying the entire phone call. I agree Doc Rivers is terrible, but we can win a championship with Joel Embiid and James Harden. That's how I feel.
Can we
I
please?
agree.
Can we please though, like, give Doc the credit that he deserves tonight? Like, yeah, dude, we all know our general opinion on the man, but he had a good game today.
That's what I mean. He adapted. He went against his own stubbornness and actually adapted and threw Maxey back in the game.
I don't know. I saw Dan Burke like physically grab Tyrese Maxey at the 9-minute mark and was like handing him to Doc. So
yeah,
I think the assistant
you
coaches
don't
had
know what
something
goes
to do
on.
with that.
We can't just pick and choose when we want to give a guy that we hate credit or not. I hear you.
I give you that. This was one of his best coaching nights, but he did try to do his way early in the fourth quarter.
Yes,
and it was physically hurting me because we can't do anything about it when he does that. That's the worst thing about it. We're just sitting there watching the TV, watching our lead go away, and it's the worst thing in the world.
Of course, but we don't have the depth, especially now. And Doc made a mistake, but the thing that we needed that we can't complain about is the fact that he acknowledged his mistake and reverted back to playoff basketball. So at the end of the day, Doc got the win. We got the win. I mean, I'm always on board for fire Doc. I'm definitely on board for Ty Lue being a way better coach. Look what he's doing with the Clippers team. But Doc had a good night tonight. He deserves to get a couple flowers. Doesn't have to be roses, but give him a couple lilacs.
The Niang starting.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge start, and we're not winning that game if Niang doesn't get the minutes that he's getting. And
same with Ferk. Come on.
Of course, Ferk had a good game, and he played the hot hand. So Doc did a good job tonight. So let's wait until we get outcoached severely to start up on the Doc Rivers fire train.
Because it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Probably
we got to see
Friday.
what happens in the playoffs. If they flop in the playoffs, Doc Rivers is definitely getting fired.
I will say Doc Rivers is leaps and bounds better than Steve Nash. And I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. So
yeah, what really is Steve Nash as a coach? Like, he's just kind of a guy sitting over there, to be honest.
I think they thought the championship was going to be really easy, so they wanted to bring in a guy who would have just allowed the egos be egos. And turns out he had to actually coach, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, that ain't working out for him. Caller on the line from Harrisburg, PA. What's going on?
What's good, DJ, man? It's the God Podcast. I talk to you on Twitter all the time, man. Listen, The last caller, I don't think he was too far off. I do think we got to start looking at Doc as far as what we're going to do. I don't know if I'm ready to fully push him out just because I'm a little scared. I don't know who we're going to bring in behind that. I do think coaching is an issue. There's a moment where in this game tonight, Embiid's hot hand. I mean, he's cooking. It's probably like about close to like 2:30 in the third. Embiid's cooking, and then we take him out. Cool. All right, you're going to rest him for the fourth. I get it. But why bring him in around like 9 minutes? We should have had him in way earlier. He was cooking, and we just didn't put him back in the game at a certain point. And then there's a moment when he gets back in the fourth, and he starts cooking again, and Doc's not yelling at our players. I love Niang, but there was a couple of times where, like, the ball should just went straight to Embiid, and Niang would get the ball and just shoot it. And it's like, no, go through the big man. He's eating them. They can't do anything. He knows how to read it. When they're doubling, your shot's there. When they're not doubling, let him eat. And even if they're doubling, see if he can go to the basket first. The play where he went to the basket and got an N1 on, I think, 2 players on him, that was a perfect example of you got to just let Embiid fill the game out. And I just felt like that's where we need Doc to be chewing in the players like, no, feed the big man. As far as James Harden talking to Maxey, I know the last caller was saying something about that. I want that. That's what we need. The problem is we haven't had a leader on this team to be like, yo, Maxey, get in there. The problem is if we let Doc talk to Maxey, we're going to get the Maxey we've been getting, prior to us having Harden on the team, where Maxey shows us great games of like 25, 30 points to like, all right, Maxey seems like he's holding back. I don't want Doc talking to him. I want James Harden to feed everything through Maxey, and let's teach him that way. As soon as James talked to him, he went off. That's all we need. He's going to be our sleeper point for this season. Next season, we'll see. I think summertime will shake up, make some moves. But right now, Maxey's our sleeper point. So if James Harden's being the vocal leader that we need, that's what we need. Takes pressure off in Joel. So I had to call in because I heard the caller talking about Doc should be talking to Maxey. Hell no. Excuse my language. But hell no.
Don't
let
let him near
James
him.
Harden talk to him. He knows how to score.
I feel you, bro. Thanks
James
for the
knows how
call,
to
man.
score.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. Yo, and that's the thing. Like, Joel Embiid can be a leader, but he's still a center. We haven't had a ball handler, a perimeter player that's a leader since my entire life. So to have James Harden out there, and that's why I think it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter much if Doc has an iffy lineup in the end of the third, or an iffy this and iffy that. Like, coaches aren't perfect. I know Doc Rivers is not a top 15 coach of all time, like they put him on that list. I don't think he is. I don't think he's Brett Brown bad. I just think he's going to do things that are questionable sometimes. But you're going to have James Harden leading the. You're going to have James Harden coaching on the floor. And that's going to alleviate a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean?
10.1 assists per game, second in the NBA. James
It's going to alleviate a lot of that stuff.
And also,
Doc,
my bad.
A coach like Doc is hindered by his talent too. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be a genius to get points out of some of these guys when they're having bad nights. And who do you play here and there? I mean, it's just going to be so much different with James Harden because he's so experienced and so elite. Tyrese Maxey's going to be on another level. It's just Doc won't even matter. I really don't think he will.
Yeah,
he's going to
I
be good
agree with
enough.
that. Also, when Maxey was going off in the second quarter, you know what finally happened? Embiid got one-on-one opportunities because Maxey was going off, and the defense was like, oh, we got to pay attention to him, actually. So it created one-on-one opportunities for Embiid. So what do you think is going to happen when James Harden's going for 20? And the thing about James Harden is, yes, Maxey's a great pick-and-roll player, but he doesn't always make the right decision, whether it's passing to the guy in the corner for 3, whether it's lobbing to the big man, whether it's scoring for yourself. He doesn't always make the right decision because he's just not good enough as a playmaker. But Harden, if they cheat on Embiid and like double Embiid in the pick and roll, he's going to pass it to the open man quickly and get a wide open shot, or he's going to take it himself. He's always going to make the right decision in the pick and roll, and that's going to create more opportunities for himself one-on-one, because Harden is one of the most double team players in the league along with Joel Embiid. So they're both going to benefit from each other and get more one-on-one opportunities which they have been missing for years. So it's a match made in heaven.
One thing that we need to talk about is last night I watched a Ryan Russillo video on usage rate in the NBA. The top 20 players with the highest usage rate in a season. Guess how many of the 20 players won a championship in that year?
Say that again. It was a little bit of math.
Yeah, that was a lot. All
right. So Ryan Russillo makes a video on usage rates for players in the NBA, the highest usage rates for players in seasons in NBA history. Mm-hmm. Out of the top 20 highest usage rate players in a single season, how many of those teams do you think won a championship?
In the last 20 seasons?
No, the 20 in NBA history, the highest 20 usage rates for players.
One time.
None. Never. The only time a team ever went to the conference finals was James Harden in 2017. So Joel Embiid is currently 15th in NBA history with the 15th highest usage rate for a player on a team. That's incredibly important that we brought in a guy of James Harden to alleviate the pressure on Embiid in the playoffs. Right. Because hear me out, DJ. What are you saying?
If I had to go off the top of my head, I would put LeBron James in that top 20 usage rate. He has to.
No. Listen, I'm saying like Russell Westbrook's MVP season in OKC, he had the highest usage rate in NBA history. So shots, like possessions that he was holding the basketball and being utilized. He had the highest usage rate in history of the NBA. LeBron's never had a top 20 season. So Embiid is currently 15th in the NBA with this year. It's like a 40% or 35% usage rate. There has never been a team to win a championship. The huge part about acquiring James Harden is it's not going to be an easy team to game plan against because it's more than one guy. And we're not going to have to rely on one guy to win a championship. And when I watched that video, it gave me a brand new perspective of confidence in this team because I hear Embiid, I love him, but history shows that it's never worked when there's one guy to have the ball every possession, even with James Harden. So to have two guys that can both take 50-50 of the rock, it's going to make us much harder to beat in a 7-game series.
I can't disagree with that, man. I can't disagree. Caller from Philadelphia, PA. What's going on? Yo. 215, where are you at? He's on the line, but he's not talking. I mean, yeah, like, you know, a lot of those teams end up that way because they have a superstar and nobody else around them. And it's just like, well, let's just give him the ball the whole game and see if he can win everything. And it doesn't work.
Exactly.
So I agree.
Literally since the beginning of the statistic, it's never been successful. So by giving Embiid a Robin, probably the best Robin in the NBA, it just statistically and probability-wise, it will make the Sixers harder to beat because, bro, the gravity that Harden is going to attract, it's not going to be a stagnant offense, man. It's not going to be sit around, pass the ball around for 23 seconds until Tobias Harris has to do something ridiculous. Like, that's not what it's going to be. And what's our biggest problem? Stagnant offense. But, bro, all you got to do is spot up behind the three-point line, and Niang's going to see the easiest shots of his career. Furkan's going to see the easiest looks of his career. Danny Green, too. Bro, I'm telling you,
we're going to finally have an offense where you can give the ball to a guy at the top of the key and everybody can move out of the way. Like, you know, it's stagnant right now. Shot clock's running down. Harden has the ball. Get out of the way. He's going to break down his man one-on-one.
And Giannis was on that list when they lost to the Heat in the second round. It's just another – and but then when they get help –
Yep. Yeah, the Bucks.
When they got help, they won a championship. Drew Holiday, man. It's
as soon as he got a point guard. Yep.
Exactly.
As soon as he got a point guard.
Acquisition. Humongous.
Yeah, people think they overpay for Drew Holiday, but it's not just about the stat sheet with him. It's how he runs the offense. And then, you know, they lost to the Heat. And even the last year or 2 years ago when they won it, was it 2 years ago? I don't remember. It was last year. Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year. Milwaukee? It was last year.
Yeah, the beginning of that final series, they were running way too much Giannis from the top of the key, trying to make him do everything. As soon as they gave the ball back to Drew Holiday and started running pick and rolls from the top, he was dishing to Giannis under the basket, and it's like that makes so much more sense.
Also, people forget that someone commented this earlier. I forget who commented, but he said before Drew Holiday was signed, everyone was like fire Budenholzer, fire Budenholzer. So
Yep.
maybe it's the same thing with James Harden and Doc Rivers. So
I was one of those guys.
Because what has Doc Rivers really had besides Embiid? I mean, you know, trash Ben Simmons, trash Tobias. It's like,
yeah, and I
he's
think
only
he was
had
obligated.
Embiid and Furkan, so.
And Doc defending Ben Simmons the whole year last year, I'm still convinced he was in on the trade value thing. He's like, listen, this guy's going to be out of here at some point. We got to keep hyping him up, keep telling everyone he's great, everyone's stupid, just to keep that trade value up. I really think that it's a conspiracy, but I really think that.
If you guys, there's a dude wondering what video it was, go on the Ringers YouTube, and it's Ryan Russillo talks user trade. It's like a 7-minute video. But,
yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Gave me a
Call on
lot
the line, 215. What's up?
Yo, Eastwood, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, I got a question for all three of you guys.
What's up?
Over under. No.
Oh,
Even if that was a joke, I had to hang up, bro. I'm sorry.
you were quick with it.
Anybody that wants to call with an actual point,
I think he was joking.
call in. He probably was joking, but I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it. I'm not. It's not a show for jokes. Call into the show with something to say, man. It is what it is. No offense. Just call into the show with something to say, man. Caller on the line. What's up?
Man, how y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, so I've been playing basketball since I was, elementary school. The simplest thing about basketball is team composition. You know what I mean? Like, we noticed with the Sixers, even though Dario and Covington were the best players at the position, they played their role correctly. The thing with Tobias is he needs to take about 20 to 25 shots a game just to hit 10 of them. So we'll see he has a good game where he has 20 to 25 points, but he also takes 20 to 24 shots. And it's not like he's out there giving you 15 and 14 on a bad night. On a bad night, he's giving you what do you have in the last game? 6 points?
6, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. As a second, he is first time I ever seen Tobias play, he reminded me of a bootleg Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
Just post up on the elbow, quick little pivot, and then waste about 5 to 10 seconds on the shot clock. And if he's got nothing, he just kicked it at somebody in a bad situation.
For sure.
He's very overrated. And I don't know if you guys remember when he first got to the Sixers, he even said, yeah, I trusted myself. That's why I went to the Sixers. I knew I was going to make more money. He never said nothing about winning. Remember, he had a whole book with his dad, him and his dad were his agent or whatever. Oh, I went to Philly. I passed up on the deal I was going to get in L.A., so I got a bigger deal in Philly. He doesn't blend in with the team. It's a shame that Dario would blend better than Tobias. It's all about composition. You know what I mean?
That was Elton Brand,
like
Elton Brand and Brett Brown being obsessed with big names at the time. They were just trying to stuff as many big names on the team as they could, and they traded players that fit way better than Tobias Harris. Even the little 3-point shooter they traded, and they gave up 2 first-round picks, for Tobias Harris. So they were just obsessed with big names. And I agree. There's players that fit better.
Absolutely. When you look at a team like Phoenix and Milwaukee, like Bobby Portis, he's just Bobby Portis. He's just a guy that somebody gives a vet minimum. But when he's in the right team where they utilize him correctly, they're like, all right, if Bobby Portis gives you 12 points and 6 rebounds, then he had a good night. But Tobias, they're expecting him to get 20. He's almost now the Andrew Wiggins of the Sixers. You know what I mean? Like, if he gets 20, everybody hoots and hollers, but he's getting paid big boy money. He's making more than Embiid.
Yeah, you got to get that contract out of here. It is what it is. You just have to. You can't have a 4th option max contract.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Agree,
like
man.
when you see,
I got a question for you, Cole.
Now, obviously, what's up, man?
So you're saying Niang and Paul Millsap are better?
Niang and Paul Millsap are better than who?
Better than Tobias.
Tobias?
Better. They're better for the Sixers than Tobias.
No. Yang is a better fit than Tobias right now.
Exactly.
Yang is a better
you
fit
have to
than
say
Tobias
that.
right now.
You can't say he's just better. Then everyone's gonna be like, no, he's not. You have to
I don't know. I mean,
fit.
I think it's getting to a point.
Fit. The key is fit,
wrong,
right? when you see the Phoenix team, you'll see like what's his name, the young boys on like Mikal Bridges, for instance, like they're not expecting him to be the second or third best player.
Yeah, would be
You know
nice
what I'm saying?
to
All he
have.
needs to do is get some. Exactly. We gave him up for Zaire Smith. Where he at?
Peanut
He's over
boy.
there eating peanuts, falling apart. Hey, eating peanuts, falling apart. You know what I mean?
Man. Every time I eat peanuts, I think about him.
Oh yeah, I start freaking out. He looks like he's from the Temptations, but you know what I'm saying? He's
he does.
a nice young man, but yeah, he's got the Temptations cut. That's what I call him. So, yo, Temptations got the
he's
peanut
David Ruffin, bro. He's David Ruffin.
Man.
But my only worry, truthfully, about the team now is I'm personally not a huge James Harden fan as far as his play style, right? I'm not personally a big fan of his, but I feel like he is the Chris Paul to Devin Booker as like Harden is to Maxey right now. Like Maxey's his game's only gonna grow because I think now James Harden is more mature than he was in Houston. He wasn't open to Chris Paul's criticism, even though Chris Paul, we all know, he's a great leader. He can give you 40, but he'd rather get 20 and 11. He'd rather get somebody else involved. So, but I don't know. Hopefully, Harden's matured to where he wants to be on-court leader. You know what I'm saying? And then Maxey, his progress is great, but it's kind of iffy about it because Maxey's, in my opinion, Maxey's now the third best player on the team, and he shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Tobias is supposed to be number 3.
Yeah, I feel you.
And but hey, man, just wanted to call. Y'all do your thing. Should get some more callers. Let's see what else they're thinking about. Honestly, the coaching thing. The last point, the coaching thing is really not that serious. The whole thing with the coaching is we see how bad the rotations are with Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brett Brown. Stagnant. We all remember when Embiid would be getting 40 in 3 quarters, and then he would put Embiid around the bench. Brett Brown would do that shit. Embiid would be on fire. He put him to the bench. Doc Rivers does the same thing. Shit, he'll play Paul Millsap, and he'll play Paul Reed and Matisse Thybulle and all these guys for what 20 straight minutes, 10 straight minutes, and just they'll go on a fucking 2-20 run, and then Embiid has to come in and put the weight on his back again. They just got to be more consistent with the rotations. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, man.
Agree, man.
Y'all have a good night, bro.
All right, bro. Thanks for the call. I think I wasn't a fan of James Harden in Houston either, but that was just what happened with that team because he was running the show 100%. You know what I mean? And he was baiting officials and getting every call, and he was doing everything he could to try to help that team win because he didn't have another star until he got Chris Paul, and then he didn't get along with him. Russell Westbrook didn't get along with him. You need players that fit, and you need personalities that fit too.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy not to like James Harden. I wouldn't really say that I love the guy. I don't really enjoy watching him play basketball, but like you said, DJ, it's more a product of your environment and an entire team building around the perimeter guy. I mean, what's the difference between Harden and Embiid before Harden came here? It's your product of your environment. It's high usage rate. It's easy to dislike those guys because they're literally one-man armies. But now, I mean, I really like the move because not only is he an absolute superstar, but he is a superstar with a humongous chip on his shoulder. Like everything is in the media is to hate Harden, and it makes this fit perfect. It really does, man. He's going to embody Philadelphia.
He is, and like we said, he can adapt his game. He adapted his game as soon as he went to Brooklyn, and people, the one of the hot takes is it's going to take shots away from Embiid. This is a guy that just dribbles and dribbles and dribbles. Like those are people that aren't actually watching the game at all.
Right.
He's going to do everything. He's going to mold his game around Joel Embiid, and it's going to be beautiful. And Tyrese Maxey is going to be on another level because pick your poison, man. You got Harden, and now you got Harden's prodigy on the floor together.
I think they're all going to play the best basketball. Dude, they're going to be freaking open. It's easier to play basketball when there's not a 7-foot dude closing out at your face. Yep. And it's just every single shooter is going to be a better shooter. Embiid's going to get better looks. Maxey's going to have better. Dude, everybody is going to be better from this. And we just beat a Milwaukee Bucks team who is as healthy as possible. Obviously, Robin Lopez is out, but what is he going to bring? Not Robin, Brook Lopez. Yeah. But, dude, we beat a serious playoff championship contending team on the road. in a game that was extremely close, which says a lot, man. And we did that without our second best player, who is a top 15 player in the NBA.
Yeah, I think we stand a chance against anybody. I think people are going to be blown away by what this looks like with James Harden handling the ball outside the perimeter.
Isn't that what we
think they
need
are.
though? Like against the Suns, Embiid had to take a crazy step back because they were forcing him out of the paint because no one could get him the ball, and he had to initiate as a point guard. So like, we kind of need another guy who could just get to the paint and be like, I'm either taking the shot or getting someone an open shot. I don't get that point at all. That he's going to take shots away from Embiid.
It's just
Embiid's going
casuals
to
to say things like that.
also. I made a video on Harden and Embiid, and there's clips of Harden just stepping from like half court and just throwing it up to Kevin Durant, just throwing it up like just a prayer. And everyone's like, Harden leads the league in turnovers. It's because he's willing to make tough passes because he sees the court so well. So I can't wait to see Harden just be like, just float it. Just float it over everyone's head. I can't wait.
Turnovers are also such an over-exaggerated statistic. Dude, it just means you have the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a stupid I hate when people are like, oh my God, he's averaging 3.6 turnovers a game. Yeah, because he has the ball 144 possessions and he has to do everything. Yeah, no shit, the dude's turning the ball over 3 times a game. And an important statistic is assist to turnovers ratio, because if anything, that shows you a more quantifiable look at it. And that's exactly what Harden is good at. Yeah, he's going to have 3 turnovers a game, but he puts out 11 assists a night. His assist to turnover ratio is 3-1. That's elite. Why don't we look at that instead of the stupid turnovers, dude?
Embiid had 6 turnovers tonight. I didn't feel 6 turnovers.
No, I felt 1 when he threw the ball to nobody, but it's at least once a night.
He had an unlucky he had an unlucky dribble too, where he just lost his handle.
Yeah, which is 1 a night.
All right, let's take one more call, and then we're up out of here. What's going on? I hit the wrong button. I'm tired. We need to end this show. What's going on, man? Yo.
Hey, how you doing tonight, guys? Big win tonight. I have 2 points real quick before we wrap this up. So my first point is, do you think that this year getting James Harden, do you think that this is a make or break year for Doc Rivers? Because I'm hearing, because you know how Harden had Mike D'Antoni in the Houston Rockets, and he, you got Daryl Morey and Michael Rubin. They're all Houston Rocket alumni. Do you think that maybe that this is a make or break year for him? And then my second question, real quick, and then I'll hang up to hear your answers. When James Harden trade went down, do you feel from the media, and let's talk about national media and Philly media, do you feel that the top billing went to Ben Simmons leaving the Sixers, or do you think the top billing went Harden getting traded to the Sixers? So what do you guys feel?
Yo, thanks for the call, man. Is it a make or break year for Doc Rivers? I think absolutely it is. I just think it is. Even if it turns out that the bench is too weak, or we don't have enough role players or whatever in the playoffs, I feel like it's make or break for Doc Rivers, because either Greg or Romp said, Daryl Morey isn't attached to Doc Rivers. I don't know about D'Antoni though. Like I don't know, but Daryl Morey and D'Antoni together are the ones that traded away Clint Capella to try to run the smallest ball lineup in the history of the NBA, because they were obsessed with analytics and they were like, let's just shoot more threes than everybody. But I don't know. But I do think it's make or break for Doc Rivers. What do you guys think?
To an extent, yes, but I think if the Sixers make a good playoff run into the Eastern Conference Finals and lose, I think Doc keeps his job. I mean, it's tough to bring a dude on post All-Star break and then make a championship run. It's really difficult, and especially given how hard the Eastern Conference is this year. Yeah, but if we lose in the first round, you would probably expect Doc to be the scapegoat, right? So D'Antoni, on the other hand, I don't love it. I don't dislike the idea though either. I don't think that means that they're going to go small ball. I mean, D'Antoni is not necessarily a 5-guard rotational dude. It was more of Daryl Morey's analytics and statistical probability of what he thought was the best chance to win. They had a really good shot too. I mean, that team was really good, really, really good. Morey talked about it in the interview this morning, and I don't know about the fit, but I don't want another recycled head coach. That's my thing, dude. Go out and get a Nick Nurse. I know it's hard to find, but just do it. Just do it.
I agree with everything you said. So you took whatever I was going to say. So we can move on.
It's make or break for Doc Rivers, Romp, or not?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
What was his
Unless
question about billing? What was the billing thing?
Yeah, I was kind of confused on that.
What's a bill?
I think he said something about the national media and whether Ben Simmons was traded or James Harden left. I don't remember. I'm sorry to the caller. It was just a little bit complicated, and it's too late. I'm too tired. I can't remember what was the question.
I lost him at billing. I didn't know what that meant.
I think I'm gonna give an answer.
Okay.
What do you think he was saying?
I think he was just asking about the national media's perception. And I think, I don't know. I think all of a sudden it just shifted to like Ben Simmons being a great player once again. And then like kind of like everyone shifting back to Harden being a bad teammate or whatever, stuff like that. So I feel like Philly got the raw end of the deal in terms of the national media coverage. Like all of a sudden, even though like 2 weeks ago, myself included, was saying, oh, you're not going to get anything for Ben Simmons. You're not going to get scratch for him. And then all of a sudden we make a trade for James Harden, an all-star, who's an all-star this year. And then all of a sudden it flips to the Brooklyn Nets. It's like, what? So I feel like the national media has a weird thing against the Sixers, but it is what it is.
The national media, here's what it is. And I said this last night. Here's exactly what it is. Ben Simmons said the magic words, mental health. The national media does not want to touch that topic. So they all automatically sided with him, agreed with it. We can't say anything about it. He said this, so we all have to be more sensitive, and that's just the thing they ran with. So now everybody's a big meanie, and Ben Simmons got his way because he pulled that card. Even though I 100% feel like he's lying, I 100% think that he's lying. I think he's lying. The way that he said it in the press conference makes no sense at all. You told us it had you leaving the Sixers had nothing to do with the coach, the players, the fans. It had to do with you weren't in the right mental state. Then why did you ask for a trade? How did changing franchises change your mental state if your mental state had nothing to do with the franchise? Made no sense at all. It was the worst thing. Whoever helped him at that press conference, told him what to say, fucked it up royally. It's just bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. But the national media sided with him because they don't want to touch the topic. ESPN doesn't want to be that. Oh, ESPN's on TV talking about people with mental health. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. And he won by pulling that card. But the joke's going to be on him because he's going to look just like he did in Philly on another team because he's not going to adapt his game at all. And what's he going to do when Kyrie and Durant have the ball the whole game? Stand in the corner.
See, the thing is, I don't get that. Like, why they... I'm just going to be honest. Ben Simmons, like, the best thing for his mental health would have been accepting accepting blame for the loss and doing the thing that he didn't want to do, which is come back and just face Joel Embiid, face Doc Rivers. That would have been the best thing for his mental health. Because most times when I don't want to do something, it's just because I'm afraid or I'm being a pussy. But then when I do it, I feel better. But a lot of times, I don't know. It's just,
you know what they call that, Rob? You know what that's
called?
That? It's called life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being scared of things, being scared of pressure is not mental health.
It's called accountability, bro. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to change and you're not going to grow. It's simply life. And that's why I'm cool with it, man. At this point, I'm tired of talking about it because he's not even on our team anymore. But we went from trade packages including Harrison Barnes and Marvin Bagley and a second-round pick to get goddamn James Harden. I don't care what the national media has to say. We won the trade.
Very excited.
We won.
Very excited. So Tyrese Maxey's in the All-Star thing. Skills competition or something like that, right?
Yeah, and the Rising Stars.
Rudy Poo, what's up? Reports came out that Adam Silver is not happy with the Harden Simmons trade. That's why the narrative has been changed and the refereeing has been suspect. It's a little bit of little bit of a conspiracy theory there. That's why the refereeing has been suspect. Refereeing's been suspect in the NBA forever. They're just not good. The officials aren't good. I don't think it's easy to officiate a basketball game, period. I think you have to be super quick. Your eyes and your hand-eye coordination, your eye to mind. You got to be quick. You can't have 60-year-old referees out here.
Dude, I was reffing intramural college games and I was like getting shit on. I was like, all right, dude, I'm trying.
I did the same thing. I reffed an intramural college game, and one of the games I had to referee was the Shippensburg University football team versus. And these dudes were going so hard at each other. I just wasn't calling shit. They were plowing each other over in the lane. I'm like, what can I do? You guys are playing full contact basketball.
Dude, I went to Shippensburg and I was intramuraling a game that was like a 65-point deficit and I wasn't calling shit, dude. I was just letting these dudes get yammed on. And I was like, whatever. People are screaming at me. I'm like, dude, you're up by 60. Relax. Before we go, I do need to say something. Romp. A lot of these comments are talking about an arm sleeve of some sort. I think
this is a Sixers shirt.
I think before
There's no arm sleeve. It's like a
shooting sleeve.
It's like a warm-up shirt, you know.
This dude said, I wasn't gonna say anything until I saw this comment, and he was like, "Yo, Romp wears the sleeve around all day, every day, like someone's gonna challenge him to a 1v1."
It makes me feel like I'm in the game when I'm watching, you know. Always ready. I was sweating tonight.
Dudes? Are you one of those guys during commercial breaks you take fake shots in your living room?
No, I just like pace. During a close game, I just like walk back and forth, go on my phone, just go to the bathroom. I'm nervous during the game, so
super nervous, dude.
Heard that. All right, well, thanks everyone for coming through. Still 477 people in here. Hit the like button on your way out. Thanks for rocking with us. And I don't know what we're gonna do in this little 8-day break. I don't know. We can do like some all-star event watch along thing or something like that. Tyrese Maxey's in something that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Does anybody care about the all-star game?
I hope Embiid doesn't play.
Yeah, I hope
me too. Me too. It's stupid. I don't like it. I don't understand. Like it's to the point. Can't we get rid of it? Like that and the Pro Bowl. Let's just stop doing this. We get it. They're going to throw the ball off the backboard from the 3-point line and try to do a 360 dunk, and nobody plays defense. What's the point?
And one dude's going to go way too hard
and score 60 and get MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over the all-star game. 3-point shootout is cool. I like that. Let's just do the 3-point shootout, nothing else.
Yeah. Dunk contest is sometimes cool, depending who's in it.
Yeah, it's been played out for a while.
Who's in it this year? You know?
Jalen Green.
Okay.
He could fly.
Yeah, he could fly.
I think
Is Furkan in it, Rob?
Nah, he didn't make the cut.
He didn't get in?
Furkan.
I heard he was like top 7. I didn't know if he made it or not.
Yeah, he
missed it. Just missed the cut. He won in Turkey though, so that's all that counts. Against a bunch of other guys that have a 3-inch vertical, he won the dunk contest.
Dude, crazy athletes over there in Turkey. Him and Aeneas Freedom, they're going to be best friends.
Chetty Osman's a Turkish boy.
That's gross.
That's gross. Is there highlights of that dunk contest?
There's got to be. I'm actually going to look that up tonight.
Eric Korkmaz.
Korkmaz.
Paul Reed is in the dunk contest? Is that true?
No.
That's not true.
Oh, there is video evidence. Damn, 612K views.
What? Furkan's dunk contest?
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Yeah. He put on a Darth Vader mask and a cape and did like the most basic reverse dunk ever and won the whole contest.
It made the New York Daily News.
No, he jumped over a table.
I don't even
this dude's the
GOAT. I don't want to see it. All right, guys, thanks for coming through. been real. We'll see you next time.
Peace.